Nasdaq, as part of their panel request, was that Mullen get to $1, which is the minimum bid requirement to maintain your listing qualification, which means that Nasdaq gives you approximately a specific amount of time to regain that compliance, which includes trading at $1 for 20 trading days, and are above $1 for 20 trading days. And if you can do that prior to the expiration of the extension date, then you continue on Nasdaq as a current company, meaning with no deficiencies. So from our perspective, we were granted the extension, which we're very grateful for. And again, Nasdaq doesn't really care how you get to $1 and trade 20 consecutive days at $1, as long as you get there. Now, obviously, we committed to doing a reverse if we can't get to that point, because other than that, there's really no way to get above $1. So we have a time frame that they've given us that allows us to regain compliance. And how we do that is going to be based on our efforts and how we do that to regain compliance. And if we get to that point where you have to trade 20 trading days above $1 and you're not above $1, then you have no choice but to execute on the commitment we made to Nasdaq, which was that if we could not get to $1 prior to the drop dead date, and then we would effect a reverse and an amount that would allow us to regain compliance and trade for those 20 trading days. So the ball is in our court. We have to perform. We have to get out there. We have to deliver. We have to execute. And hopefully the market rewards us with getting us above $1. So there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of questions surrounding that filing of that pro-sup. People, retail shareholders out there, for whatever reason, believe that that's a new financing, and it's not. It's clearly stated that it's a supplement to the original transaction that was executed in February of 2023, and these are the supplements that allow us to issue additional or register additional shares to cover the obligation pursuant to that 2023 February financing. So these are the remaining warrants that we talked about when we announced publicly a while back that there were no longer any additional options or rights to the Series D holders, and that there were only some warrants remaining. And so these are now the warrants that they're executing on, which we're obligated to file a registration statement for. So this is what they call pro-sup to the registration statement that was filed in February of 2023. And it is not, and I reiterate, is not a new financing. Mullen has purchased approximately 5.7 million common shares of its stock and has retired them back into inventory. Mullen currently hasn't purchased any additional shares because it's currently in a blackout period, which began on the last day of the fiscal year end, which is September 30th, and will continue until we file our 10K. One day after we file our 10K on December 29th, we can then resume purchasing shares. What we will do is we will extend the buyback period for an additional 6 months to give us additional leverage to utilize our dry powder to repurchase our shares and retire them. That's what we intend on doing. Yes, so let's just say in under 12 months, right, Mullen has successfully completed 2 commercial launches for the Mullen 1 and the Mullen 3. The Mullen 3 began production with the first units off the line in August, and the Mullen 1 production units will roll off the line this month. As of today, in response to customer demands. The fourth quarter sale forecast is for 150 units for the Mullen 3 and 300 units for the Mullen 1. With the start of production, focus is now on vehicle sales and infrastructure preparation to support units as they move from the factory to the end user. So to be clear, Mullen has put itself in a position to not only deliver on the commitments that it's made in its prior PR, but is building on opportunities to expand on those numbers as we move forward and as we adjust to the current market conditions as well as customer demands. That's a question that I think is in the public forum right now. And what I can address is that Mullen has a partnership with Wuling, who provides us our SKDs. And it's public knowledge that GM is in a relationship with SAIC and Wuling. And so you have SAIC, GM, and Wuling, and their partnership then translates from Wuling, obviously, to Mullen. So no, Mullen is not in any direct relationship with General Motors, but Mullen does have a partnership with Wuling, who is call it a partner of GM and SAIC. Now, are the vehicles of a high quality that would support U.S. Sale of those vehicles? Obviously, we're seeing that now because we're talking about a fully certified and homologated vehicle. Our Class 3 was homologated previously for sale in the U.S., and we obviously announced in multiple PRs that we've obtained not only EPA certificate of conformity, but we've also received all of the crash testing requirements that are put forth as it relates to vehicles that are sold in the United States. So again, they are quality vehicles. Are they of the highest standards? Yes, they are. Do they meet U.S. requirements? Yes. Is there an opportunity to explore potential opportunities? There's always many opportunities that present themselves. Now, again, you can come up with your own conclusions, but answer right now is no, there is no direct correlation or relationship between Mullen and GM other than sharing the Wuling relationship.
Well, I can give you information that Bollinger has already publicly disclosed, which are very positive. They're in the pilot program now. They got vehicles that are on the road, and they're very, they're very optimistic that they're going to be able to capture a good piece of the market share in Class 4. They're going to start with their vehicles hitting the streets come July of 2024. We anticipate or expect them to be a good piece of the market as it relates to Class 4. And when you take our Class 1 and Class 3 and you consolidate with their Class 4, I think we're a pretty big force to be reckoned with. From our presence currently in Ireland and our commitment to the EU, to the European Union, we've now expanded our presence of the Mullen product lineup and respond to international demand on a immediate basis. The Mullen Go has been shipped to European distribution partners in Ireland and in France. Mullen is now in talks with dealer groups in Central America, as well as partners in Mexico and the Caribbean. Now, this is for the Mullen Go product, and we're excited that we can expand that outside of the European Union and into South America. We think that would give us opportunity to capture obviously a tremendous amount of sales for that specific vehicle. As far as the government sales update that you're asking, Mullen Automotive, in conjunction with our RDS, Rapid Response Defense Systems, has met the next milestone in the process to obtain a government contract. Our RDS will submit the joint request to the Customs and Border Protection Regulatory Board, seeking their approval of the Mullen 1 van to having met the requirements for substantial transformation. Timing for this submission is expected to take place no later than November 10th, with the CBP's response back to our RDS and Mullen
is 45 days of receipt of the submission. We thought that was really important. Mullen Automotive and our RDS are moving ahead with plans to display the Mullen One van and participate in an electric vehicle ride event at the upcoming Fed Fleet Conference in Washington, D.C. during the week of January 22nd, 2024. So one of the things for us going into the new year is to look back at what we did right and what we didn't do right. And what I feel really confident in is that in 2023, Mullen has completed over 20 vehicle pilots across 7 industries. Those industries include universities, airlines, utilities, leasing companies, last mile delivery, municipalities, resulting in 5 customers ordering over 30 vehicles alone. These pilots have been focused on the campus van models. Beginning in the 4th quarter of this year, Mullen will host 45 additional pilots, 10 expected by year end, with national and regional fleets. Evidence of the interest and demand for Mullen commercial products. These pilots will focus on the Mullen 1 and the Mullen 3 products. So with that, we feel that we are on the cusp of being able to transition from pilots to POs to deliveries and to the collection of receivables, which ultimately result in booking revenues. Those are going to be key factors for us as we go into the new year. We're going to be going into the new year with revenue and revenue and revenue and revenue. That's the focus. Hopefully, that revenue will be rewarded with the shareholders holding our stock and becoming longs versus shorting our stock. Everybody has a right to short. It's okay to do that when you bet against somebody. And I like that because it gives me motivation. When you bet against me, you make me work even harder. I want them to be rest assured that I am working as hard as I possibly can to create shareholder value for them, to get out there and do the right thing and to create as much positive momentum. Again, we're in a very tough market. Look, things at some point adjust when you have fundamentals and you post revenue and you do things that the other guys can't do. You eventually get rewarded, right? And I believe that we're on the right track to be rewarded. So with that, I believe that Mullen has persevered and will continue to persevere and will grow and will dominate in the commercial sector. 100%. I'm working diligently. Again, I look at this as a football game, right? I got plenty of time on the clock. I've just started. This is, we're in the 1st quarter of a 4-quarter game. So things may not look great right now, not only for Mullen, but for the entire, world, and more so for the EV, space that we're all in. Again, things go up, things go down, they eventually adjust. And when they do, I think that if you execute, you deliver. It's all about fundamentals, right? Everybody talked about, revenue. So, okay, let's get into revenue. Everybody talked about, hey, you got to be in a space where you have an opportunity to be competitive. Well, we're the only guy in Class 1, and basically, for all intents and purposes, the only guy with an all-electric Class 3 that's out there today, right now, with a vehicle. Everybody else is light years behind us. So, do I think that at some point will the market catch up to us? And do I think at some point do we become an organization that can transcend a certain segment? I believe, the effort is there, the willingness, the determination, the persistence to persevere and to succeed and to excel are all there. So I firmly believe that our actions in delivering on our promises and creating revenue and the fundamentals behind that will result in us being rewarded by not only the retail community, but the institutional investors out there that will recognize that we've survived. So many different guys have gone out of business and filed for bankruptcy. We're still here. And we're in a space where, we can call the shots. We don't have any competition in Class 1. So we're going to get out there. We're just, like I said, we're in the 1st quarter of a 4-quarter game. So, I don't call it over until it's over. And it's far from over. So we have a lot of bullets to shield, we have a lot of silver bullets that we can still shoot. And for us, I view this as just the beginning of a great story that'll transpire as time progresses and as the economy gets better and as people realize that we're here to stay, we're not going anywhere. I'd like to turn everybody into a supporter of Mullen, not only a supporter of Mullen, but a supporter of being green and going, taking the extra mile to jointly push the initiative forward, that the reliance on fossil fuels in the dependency of those need to end. So is it a challenge? Yes. Is it achievable? 100%. Will we turn people that are against us into supporters? I believe we will. And how we're going to do that is with delivering on fundamentals.